I'm thinking it will be because it hasn't happened yet. But once
Yeah,
again,
if it's not Super Bowl, it'll be Black Panther.
Yeah, for The Last Jedi, we were just so wrong every single time we guessed that. I'm like, I'm not even attempting
We're like
to
0 for 7.
Yeah, but we don't even have a
We
teaser for
get
this.
so wrong
We had
time.
a teaser for Last Jedi forever.
Yeah,
we just never had a trailer.
True. That's true.
That's
Maybe
true.
they don't have as much money behind this one.
Maybe they're
but
scared
even
to
Who
release it.
cares? They still
Maybe every
have
time they
billions
watch
of
it.
dollars.
Maybe every
Yeah,
time
I
they
was
watch
gonna
it, they
say.
cringe. Ooh.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I hope it's not cringeworthy. You know what? I'm thinking it's probably gonna be
Should we even release
Black-
this? Or?
Black Panther.
It's gonna go straight to DVD. You're gonna be able to buy it at like Walgreens.
Please don't
Black
say that.
Panther's 2 weeks from Friday.
Yeah, so it's probably gonna be Black Panther. If it's
gotta
not the
be.
Super Bowl, then it would have to be Black Panther.
Right, or something.
Wait, Black
Just
Or
Panther's
under the
something
radar.
else that we just completely don't even realize. Because
I
we're
can't
all
wait to see
wrong.
that movie.
Oh, I
Black
know, me
Panther,
too.
Yeah, Black Panther's gonna be incredible.
It's gonna be so good. I'm getting so. I haven't been this stoked for a comic book movie since Homecoming, which
I
isn't
haven't
that
been this
long.
stoked for a Marvel movie.
I was gonna
like
say that was
Iron Man.
like 6 months ago.
But
Actually, it was less than 6
Homecoming
months ago.
and this have both gotten me more stoked than any Marvel movie in a really long time.
This movie's got me more stoked than any Marvel movie. Period. Like I haven't been this stoked for a Marvel movie, I think, in ever. Because it's just.
I mean,
it's
I
just
am really
the
stoked. I
Avengers?
just love Spider-Man, so it's
Not even the
tough.
Avengers.
But no,
Yeah, man. I'm not.
like
I'm not
this.
the Avengers was
Not
dope,
like-
but like
not like
I don't
this.
know.
This
Every
is
time
so
I see
new.
the trailer, like I don't know, my peen stands straight up. Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah, I'm stoked.
It's just too much.
Did you see the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer?
I didn't. No, I haven't seen that yet. Who plays the Wasp?
Evangeline Lilly.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen that.
I don't
There's-
even know who that is.
Whatever.
I didn't mind Ant-Man. It was alright. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't.
it's the same thing we've seen 100 times. It's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't anything
Is it still Paul Rudd?
spectacular. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What are you talking about? Obviously.
I was just making sure, man. He's a funny guy.
What kind of question is that? That's a stupid question.
Is it still Celery Man?
Is it who? Celery Man?
Have you ever seen that video?
No. Lawrence Fishburne's in the new Ant-Man though.
Computer,
Morpheus.
load up Celery.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Oh my god.
It's so good, man.
Survivors, weapons up.
We're
Anyway.
live, by the way.
Root off the Death Star.
Oh, okay.
Our ships are lost, so we'll need to locate a new
always
one.
starting
Organize
with
a
the
launch.
weirdest
Kill
conversations.
targets for now. Shut
That
down
wasn't
the
that
tractor beams generated
No,
on
that
the
wasn't as
station.
weird as we could.
And expect opposition.
It came up. I read an article the other day about that berries and cream video, Jared, because
Berries and cream,
someone was
berries and
trolling with it.
Someone was trolling me. I'm gonna land the most berries and
Shutting down traffic control.
I guess they changed the shutdown times on this map during the update, didn't they?
I have no
Whoa,
idea.
yeah, they did. Look how fast it is.
That's
The
good
override
because it was
controls
bad before.
got.
It was not.
They're like 90% faster or something like that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good place to start is with Battlefront 2. So I mean, we knew this was gonna happen, but back in the news again recently, that microtransaction because I think it's more back in the news because the quarterly review came out for Battlefront's numbers and they're down from what they were originally expected to be, which
That shouldn't be.
isn't necessary. Dude, every time he screams like that, he laughs so hard. It's crazy. Yeah. Battlefront didn't perform like they thought it was going to. So now there's been a bunch of articles out from a couple different game sources. I think the one I read was from GameSpot. They were talking about how microtransactions are going to be back in about a month or two. Which again, we already knew that they were coming back, so it's not a surprise. And it's not
They're just not the same format.
Yeah, it's just not going to be the same form. We don't know how they're going to come back. We don't know if it's going to be like originally how it was where you could basically pay Like, I saw someone's comment the other day, on one of the forums I'm a part of, and he was saying, and he made a really good point, which was, I'm happy that microtransactions are coming back because I don't have 50,000 hours to unlock everything. Which
Yeah, there was
is
a time when Jared and I were playing this where Jared was like ready to open up his wallet. And
I
not
literally
allowed to.
clicked on it and I was like, wait, what?
yeah,
I was
exactly.
gonna dump like 20
it's
bucks at least.
it's
Holy
it's
lag.
yeah, it's not it's not. It sucks because it's like I don't feel like you gain stuff back quickly enough. And like again, like you know, we all work so much that I've only been able to play it like maybe like
Well,
4 to 6 hours
That's when I
a
was in the
week.
mood. I hadn't
like
played.
Jared.
for
I
like a
haven't
week.
played it other
So
than
it's like-
talking Sith for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
That's very true. So I've been almost the same for at least 2 weeks now. So I've only been like like I said, about an hour because other stuff is coming out. Plus, there's been a lot of big things.
You're I don't know what you're saying, buddy. You're breaking up.
Grenade out.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've also been having to play a lot of indie stuff just for
I'll test
Cube Gamers. So it's
Plus,
just been.
Monster Hunter came out. Fortnite's
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
big. There's other
Yeah.
stuff to play.
There's just a lot of stuff out right now, and Battlefront, as good as it is, it's not like
They
it's
need
not-
us. They need their season 2. They're hurting
Yeah.
for it.
last
Jared
week.
was talking about
they
that the
need
other
more
day when
content.
Monster Hunter or Fortnite was what we were playing, and you
Yeah.
were saying how you know, just to compete and have people want to play it, they've got to put out some stuff because there's
I
new
love
games out
this
that are
game.
really popular.
I'm probably one
Yeah,
of the
me
more
too.
dedicated people to this game, and I was like having trouble motivating myself to play it, which was weird. Like it shouldn't be like that
Yeah.
for a video game. I was having a lot more fun just playing like Fortnite with friends and stuff. Mainly because other
Yeah.
people were playing it. Like no one else really plays this except for you guys.
Yeah, when we would play, it was like you and me,
Yeah.
and then but if we wanted to play with Miguel or
Anyway,
somebody, we'd have to
like,
play
bunch of people
Fortnite.
play. Yeah.
Right.
And Monster Hunter came
So-
out, and it's like just game
Yeah,
over.
now with Monster Hunter out, yeah, it's just kind of like I don't really know anything else that's being played right now. Besides, like every time I go on, people are either playing Fortnite or Monster Hunter, and that's not
Right.
even me trying to like get behind those games. It's just really like honestly, like I have a pretty extensive list of friends on PlayStation, and most of them are playing Fortnite or Monster Hunter.
And that kind of makes me
And, like,
wonder what they're doing with this game, because they knew this was happening. Like they knew Capcom was coming
Yeah.
out with Monster Hunter. Why would they not release season 2 like Christmas time?
I don't know.
I don't know that they
I
thought
don't know.
that Monster Hunter was going to take their base, though. I think that Monster Hunter and Battlefront could be easily perceived as 2 different
That's true.
demographics. Fortnite came, I think, a little bit more out of nowhere than
Out of
most
nowhere,
people
yeah.
anticipated. So,
Yeah.
so Fortnite stealing their audience, you can't really say, well, why didn't you know
Yeah,
that was going to happen?
Fortnite.
Whereas
Fortnite is one of those
Monster Hunter,
sleepers
you would
for
think
this.
But I
whatever.
feel like we wouldn't even be having that problem
Yeah.
if they would have had more Clone Wars stuff when the game originally launched. They
No,
probably-
I think
the
that
game would probably
there are
still be
people who
more popular.
own this game that are playing Fortnite instead, where they would be playing this if there was content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
so
agree.
yeah, but I don't know that they could have anticipated that because, like I said, Fortnite was an overnight thing that is free. So like
That's
anyone can play it.
That's the thing that's
Yeah,
killing
and
people
you're
right now,
just
is
paying
it's free.
you're paying for cosmetics only, so it's
right.
It's,
you know,
It's
it's just
hard. It's
really
a different
to beat that.
beast.
Yeah. it's
And
like a League of
and then,
Legends
like I said,
platform.
Monster Hunter, like I'm sure they knew that a lot of their players are also Monster Hunter players, but I think that they want to consider this a shooter, and no shooters have come out. Like it's not like COD came out or Battlefield or something like that.
And
But,
I'll say I see less people play because I still see a couple people on my thing playing Battlefront. I see less people playing COD in Battlefield.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, I had a friend playing Battlefield 4 the other day, and I was amazed. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's different. They got to come out with something though, because they got to be hurting.
Yeah, I think what the issue is that like Fortnite, I almost called it Fortnite. Fortnite was a kind of like out of nowhere, like you guys said, it kind of came out of nowhere success. Like I think
really,
that
really
with PUBG being as good as it was, they were expecting it to at least like, you know, catch interest, but it's quiet. It's like, I don't know. It's sneakily rewarding,
Yeah.
and it rewards you very quickly, and it's like one of those
Well, it's
high
fun.
risk,
There's
high
like no
reward
loading. You die and you're like, all right, whatever. I'll try again right now. So I mean, it's really engaging. It's fun to play with friends. It's addictive. It's got a really big frat boy fan base, which we know COD has. It's just a different beast. But it's free. That's the biggest thing. Anyone can pick it up, and
it's more things are more forgiving when they're free. Like when something comes out free, you're easily like, it's so much easier to be like, oh well, you know, this is okay because you know what, the game is free, so who cares?
But it's the best free game I've ever played. It's a free game made by a big name developer, and you know, it's not like it's an indie game. It's Epic Games, and that's not exactly like some dude in his basement putting out a game for free. And so it's an established, huge primo developer, like an A-list developer, and they show not only can I make this game and make it fun and take players, and also maintain this crazy server traffic, because it's 100-player matches with very little lag. I experience much more lag in this game, and
that's a big problem with Battlefront right now.
And it's constantly refreshing, because if you die, you don't even have to wait till the end of the match. You just back out and find another match, and you still find 100 players.
Right away.
So, and it's all free. So they don't. It's not like they're selling ad revenue. You're not running through the game and seeing a Coke billboard in the game or something. So, they're really, I think, smacking EA in the face. Like, EA's got to feel real stupid, because they're charging an arm and a leg for the game in the first place, and then they're charging for microtransactions. And there's no
cosmetics, exactly.
Not even cosmetics, but there's no like developing your character. Like, that's one thing Fortnite doesn't have that I kind of wish it did, is like level up.
Well, you can, but you still level up and stuff, but you have to pay that like season pass or whatever, that battle pass.
Right, but it doesn't actually impact your skill.
Yeah.
No,
whereas the money you pay in Battlefront 2 is definitely going to impact your skill. Like, you can
but not directly. There's no progression though. Like, there's not like, I want to focus on my assault and I can guarantee that my assault class is going to get better. And
well, so I figured out a way to kind of get past that, and I mean, it's not as foolproof, but basically Jared kind of gave me the idea where I was talking about oh, you know, I have tons of credits stacked away, and I don't really know what to do with them, except, you know, just keep buying crates, and then I'll just keep getting random cards. But I realized with every crate you buy, you get crafting parts with it. So you can just spend a lot of money, you know, get a bunch of crates, but then you're basically spending money for crafting parts, and then you can just take those crafting parts and then max out whatever.
No, I mean, that's the point of it. And I think that if they want to make microtransactions not loot crated, then they should let you buy crafting parts, not just crystals. Because if they let you buy crafting parts, then you can upgrade what you want to upgrade.
Yeah, and we've talked about this many times. It's just stupid that the crafting parts is pretty much how you level up. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's what's confusing. And that's what.
If I get 20 kills with a gun, I should level up. Or if I get some challenge completed, like
then I
20 melee kills, then I should level up, not get 100 credits.
Yeah, exactly. Not through credits, which I don't quite understand. I mean, I understand it because loot crates were supposed to be a pivotal part of how the game works. So I completely understand it when you add microtransactions to it. But
but the loot crates are way too broad. They should give you like an assault loot crate or a heavy loot crate. And if you get an assault loot crate, you only get assault cards. And that way you're at least, you know, helping the class you want to help. Because if I get a specialist loot in my loot crate, I'm just like, whatever. The only time I'm stoked is if it's a duplicate card, because I just got 200 credits back. But I spent 2,400 to get the crate in the first place. So It's
exactly.
they just I don't. And Jared and I were talking about this off air probably like 2 weeks ago. But I just don't understand how these games that have been out for 15 or years or longer have multiplayer system mastered and fun, and then this game comes out and it's got a huge developer and a huge publisher, and it just doesn't do the basic things right.
Yeah,
Because it's such a fun game, and I really like the game, and I want to enjoy playing it, but if I want to play with friends, I can't play it. And it's it's repetitive without the reward, whereas Fortnite's super repetitive. There's only one map, there's only one game type really, and there's not much to do, but it's really addictive because you want to win.
Yeah,
This game, like, winning doesn't get you anything other than that you won. Fortnite winning it is the achievement in itself. So I don't know, I just feel like it's a really fun game, it's a fun shooter. They need to open up the content fast and furious. They said there's no season pass, and that's great, but they got to start to give what you would get if you did have a season pass.
See, but then I wonder,
think
if they did sell season passes, or if they did continue with the pay to play or whatever, microtransactions, if they would have paid more attention and maybe updated the game more often. So we kind of screwed ourselves
That's
over.
what I'm saying. If you had a season pass game that you paid, $40 or $50 for a season pass for, we would have 2 seasons by now.
Well, we don't know
see,
that.
this is why I wish when we this is why I wish when we had Battlefront, everyone would have just shut the hell up and like understood that this is like the best of a bad situation. Because I was saying when Battlefront came out, like, hey, we have the season pass, like, yeah, we had to pay for this content, and even I don't really enjoy all of the content that I'm getting, but at least we can buy it, and like, you can buy what you want basically. And you have
the crazy thing about Battlefront,
you have, like, the Death Star and all that. So it was just like, it sucked when this one came along, and it was like, all right, no season pass, but they're just gonna drip stuff to us whenever we can get it, as opposed to before where we knew we were gonna get something, because like ever since Batman's whole debacle and like a couple other games where they were like, all right, we're gonna have Andromeda,
those are episodic,
things like that. Yeah, but I mean, still, they didn't get what was promised, you know what I mean? And that was a really big deal, so ever since then, developers tend to not really make promises they can't keep. So we know if we would have got we know if we would have said season pass, we would have gotten something. So I'm thinking,
it just sucks because I don't think DICE is like anti-content or anti
Well, they're probably
like fans.
I just think it's a money thing. I just think it's a money thing, and it just comes down to
sucks
money.
because I mean, we said it when they said there was going to be no season pass. Like, this isn't necessarily a good thing. And I think that it's interesting because of all the complaints we heard from all the people who hated Battlefront 1 and all the people who didn't play it and hated it anyway, they weren't complaining about the season pass. Like, I didn't hear people saying, oh, I'm not buying Battlefront because there's a season pass. I heard people saying I'm not buying Battlefront because, it's not a great shooter, or there's not a lot of content, or whatever.
Yeah.
But no one was complaining about the season pass, because the season pass, everyone does, including EA. So I don't understand why.
Well, everyone also does
the season pass, right? And then even when they said that this game wasn't going to have a season pass, not everyone was just stoked by that by itself. And we talked about it. I remember saying myself, like, this is not good. Like, this is a free pass for them to not commit to the game regularly.
I hope that they don't do that. I hope that they make it like that they, I don't mind microtransactions coming back, because there's going to be those people out there. Like, I don't think I'll ever spend that much money on it myself, but unless, some crazy content comes out where I'm like, oh man, this is really cool. They just released, like, Obi-Wan and, young Anakin.
You can get that with your credits, though.
Yeah, I mean, say I don't have enough credits stacked up, but I don't want to spend all the time, and I just want to, like, try to get loot box or something. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand people doing it.
Make you better, I kind of get, but at the same time, like, the perks don't really make.
No, you're either good or you're not. The game doesn't have enough of a progression system for the guns to make you that much better. Whereas Battlefront 1, they would have. If there was pay to win in Battlefront 1, then everyone would be running around with the E3s and the E4s and and it would be over. But which ended up happening anyway. But I think that the EA messed up in that A, they took the season pass out. That was dumb.
They gave into
B, when they made a decision, they totally gave in to the pressure to get rid of the loot crates, where they should have just said, you know what, this is the game, either play it or don't. Which is what they did with Andromeda, and people didn't play it because it wasn't engaging, not because of the loot crates.
We also talked about it before, it's just like people coming out of nowhere that didn't even play the first game who were complaining about
How many people complain about this game without having ever played it because they were...
Oh, I'm never gonna play it because they have microtransactions and they still
like
haven't
one of those
even
like
acted.
mob mentalities of the internet. It's like, oh, let's just make fun of Battlefront 2 for...
Yeah, and I mean,
let's
it's,
sign
and
this
it,
stupid
and it has
petition.
its... Yeah, exactly, oh god. I mean, it has its merit, you know, people have their, you know, their reasons, and I understand
yeah, I
some
understand
of them,
the reasoning,
you know,
but like,
to a
there's
point,
no way
but
that
at the
all
same
these people...
time, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and like I said, like, the difference, I think, is that, like, right now, like we said, there's some really good games coming out, like, even just, like, playing Monster Hunter for a little while, I was, like, you know, playing that and trying to make myself go back to Battlefront because I knew we were going to be doing Talking Sith, and I was like, oh, well, you know, let me, yeah, I was like, well, let me get a couple hours in, or an hour or two in, so at least I'm ready for when we sit and talk. And I'm like, I just honestly didn't want to play it. I'm like, I just don't want to play it right now. Like, I'd rather sit and play some Monster Hunter for a while.
Yeah, that
just
game
because
is
it's
so
more
much different.
rewarding. Like, there's just, and then I realized that that's what the issue with Battlefront is. It's not rewarding quickly enough. Like, it doesn't reward you fast enough to want to keep playing over playing other games because there's nothing really to unlock. Like, once you get, like, star cards, they, like, let's be honest, like, it sucks to unlock a star card. Like, I just don't give a shit. Like, I'm sorry for my language, but I just don't care. Like, I don't care when I unlock a star card because I'm like, alright, yeah, I can shoot, like, maybe, like, 5% more, and it, like, gives me, like, more, like, whatever. I, like, but I'd rather, like, unlock, like, stripes or, like, I would spend money on, like, stripes for my, like, dude's like armor or like stickers for my dude's helmet. I would spend like legit money on that over spending money on a star card.
Well, the thing
you know
is,
what I mean? Like,
the star card, the whole system is flawed, right? Because of crafting parts. So you get these random cards, and the only cards you're getting are the ones
that
you
and
don't
crystals from the beginning set you up.
It doesn't make sense. Why do you need both? It doesn't make any sense.
You should be able to buy credits straight up. The reason that they don't let you is because that's how they get out of it being called gambling.
Exactly.
But that's all it is. The only thing that I would say, just to play devil's advocate, because I still like this game, and I don't want to sound like I'm just destroying it, is that this game's been out for only 2 months. And the fact that we don't have a season yet isn't that unheard of.
Yeah.
For a game that's that young.
I think we're just getting spoiled.
You got a season right before
so fast.
Right, we got content right before Last Jedi, which they did with Battlefront 1 with Scarif. And we got content right around Christmas time, which is pretty normal. And also, I like Monster Hunter 2. I agree that it's easy to say I wish I was playing that, but it's brand new. It's been out for like 4 days. So you're on a Monster Hunter high where it's like, all right, I really like this, but in 2 months, if Monster Hunter doesn't have new content, and Battlefront does, you're gonna be like, it's a good thing I don't have a Monster Hunter stream because I don't want to stop playing Battlefront.
Also, I don't mean to compare it to Monster Hunter because they are two different.
No, it's just that they're both big.
It's just that they're both big right now, and you know, it's just that's like you said, that's what I'm literally having to play that one for work right now. So I'm just like, that's the only thing that's on my brain at the moment. So it's like, like that's really the only reason why I compare it is because I was trying to think to myself when I was playing Monster Hunter. Like why is this much more just fun to play right now than Battlefront is? And it was just for like, these reasons. And like you said, like the difference is that Monster Hunter has longevity built into the game. So in like 2 months, they might not have content out. However, I may still be playing that game because there is more to customize, more to do. But once again, it's a different experience. It's a whole different game.
So like, it makes sense. Versus
it's a completely different game. Exactly. So I mean, that makes sense.
I think that if I don't know, Monster Hunter was Doom, we would do Doom right now because Doom's sick. But then, in 2 months, if Doom didn't have any season stuff and Battlefront did, it would be an easier conversation. So I think it's important to remember that the game is really young. It's
Yeah,
not.
and
It's brand new.
that's true.
But
That's
there's
very
no
true.
excuse for the server stuff or some of the
It's
stuff
so
that you get because
laggy.
it's
I mean, do you guys
$60
have as
game
much
and
problem
you've
with
got-
lag as I do? Like, it's
Well, I mean,
so
we have a
laggy.
lot, but no one as much as you.
I have such
Yeah.
a
We
terrible
pay for
problem with
internet.
lag. Yeah,
But,
I'm paying for
But no,
internet. I
I
gotta
mean,
get the
Fortnite
Reddit
being
quickly.
free, I think, is really a bigger problem for Battlefront than Monster Hunter because Fortnite being free and a lot of fun is a problem for EA's model. Because if Epic can do it, they got to be losing money straight up. I have no idea what their strategy is with Fortnite because nobody buys anything for it other than like a suit.
No, a lot of people do.
And yeah, but I mean, how much money is that?
It's $10 a pass, I think.
Right. So it's.
But the numbers are ridiculous. I was
$60
just reading the other day, like PUBG, like I think 13% of the PC platform revenue went to PUBG last year.
The way
and
they
Fortnite is like right behind that. So I'm thinking like, yeah, if you have a quarter of your population paying $10, you know what I mean? But a quarter of your population equals like 10 million people.
Oh yeah. No, they're making money, but I'm just saying that their model throws EA and Activision
completely
totally out to dry
League of
because
Legends
their model is now
like 10
obsolete.
years. That's
exactly.
They're following the League of
And
Legends.
it's exactly.
Well, right,
and,
but it's on console. And
PC.
It's accessible to. I mean, you still have to buy League of Legends.
No, you don't. It's free.
Well, I mean, but right, but I mean, it's not just cosmetic stuff that you pay for.
Yeah, that's right. See, like, here's the thing, like, I wouldn't mind paying, like, so, like, Overwatch is a $60 game, or it was when it first came out. However, once you have the game, you don't pay for anything. Like, you know, same with GTA. Like, with GTA 5, like, you don't... but that's the thing, it's like, this model isn't, like, new. It's not something that's, like, hasn't been around.
You can pay for content.
Yes, well, there's the thing, there's the option to pay for it, but you don't have to. And anything you
but
pay
every game
for,
does that.
But everything you pay for doesn't have the, it doesn't have any effect on how you play the game. It's just all cosmetic stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, that's the defining thing, where it's like, if you're paying for content that's just purely cosmetic, then most games have had that for a while. I mean, that was kind of like the issue that people were kind of having, like, almost 2 or 3 years ago with, like, the Call of Duty games and stuff, where it was you were literally paying like $5 to change the color of your gun, like, and it was like it got to that point. But now it progressed to the point where we were paying money for like large things, where it was like, all right, now you get this buff or this nerf or this whatever, or like now you get like this whole extra, you know, whatever. So it's just, I think like the difference now.
It sucks because not having paid for it, we can't complain. Like we don't have a season pass that we paid for, and it's the same thing with Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect more than any game ever, and so when they say, all right, no season pass, and then that just means that you don't get anything.
Nothing.
It sucks because you're just left there kicking sand, because it's not like you can say, I just paid $20 for the season pass, give me something. It's just that you
were expecting more.
Right. So with this, like, EA's got us where they need us because we already paid for the game. They already said, guess what? Everything's free after that, and we can't complain. Right. So so it's really, it sucks because I do think that DICE probably has a plethora of content made ready to go that EA probably sits on. I'm positive that there's models out there for Obi-Wan that are already running in engine. Like, I'm sure that that's happened. But,
or they could be playing like the whole game of what they did with the last one, which is we're gonna wait until Han Solo movie comes out and then we'll drop it. You know,
yeah, I mean maybe, but the seasons for the last one weren't based off of movie releases, other than Scarif and Jakku. Other than that, they were just regular scheduled seasons. But we knew when the game came out, every month we were gonna get a season. Like in October 2015 or whatever it was, we knew that in May 2017 we were gonna get our fourth season.
Yeah, so, that's very true. So
I mean, you don't know anything with this, but you also can't complain because it's free. So
exactly.
It
They're
really
gonna be what
we
keeps the
screwed
game running.
ourselves
So
by complaining about a season pass, which again I don't remember very many people complaining about, but people
I know people
being
were complaining
vocal.
about microtransactions, but they weren't complaining about not having the alternative.
Well, I mean, with the first game though, I don't remember anyone complaining
the
about
first
a season
game-
pass during the first.
No,
game.
with the first game, people were happy just to get more content. So,
Right.
That the season pass was more than welcome because they anything extra was good. See, that's the key with like it seems with Battlefront. It's content. Like the reason why Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 2 was so good was because of how much content it had.
Right.
Plus, the game modes were just flawless. So
Well, it just doesn't make sense to not have content. But Star Wars is such a bountiful universe for content. There's so much to choose from. There's so much that, like, you literally can't go wrong. Somebody's gonna love literally anything you could put out because there's a fan of everything. Like,
Of
you might
any
get people
little
who don't
thing.
like it, but someone will like everything.
I met somebody
So-
the other day who was a fan of that little thing that laughs in the cantina. I can't
Yeah,
remember what it's called. But they have a tattoo and everything. They're like, oh, that's my favorite
oh my
character.
God,
I'm like,
that's a little-
what a
that's a little-
throwaway, like, little thing that is. But you're like, even that, like, that's what I
But
mean. Like,
you could put that. You could put Jabba's palace in the game, and have that dude like laughing in the corner, and someone's gonna be stoked about it. So
Someone's gonna be
there's
freaking out.
literally so much to do, and in today's world, like this is a small game. Like content in games is
yeah.
massive. Like the number of maps that games have, the number of modes, the number of guns, the number of characters, whatever. This game's small by any
I
of
feel
those
like
things.
the issue is that they just keep trying to use Star Wars. At least, I mean, I don't like saying it, but it feels like they just keep trying to use Star Wars as a cash grab
Well,
and
that's
not
what it is. Star Wars
understanding.
exists to be a cash grab. It's there to
Yeah,
sell
they're
toys.
just not understanding. Like, if you're gonna do it, just do it right. Like, don't just do it. But it like, I hate to beat it over the head, but like I said, I was reading this article. It said microtransactions on the way back. I don't think, like at this point, if you've been playing the game regularly enough, you have pretty much what you like. I have all the heroes
Yeah,
unlocked.
the microtransactions will come out when a season comes out because they'll have to say, all right, here's a new gun. If you want to get it quickly, you better buy a loot crate. Like that'll be why they matter. But I don't think they'll matter to people like you said who are committed to playing it right now. But I think that you're right. Star Wars is a cash grab. Star Wars has always been a cash grab. That's why it exists. But if they wanted to grab cash from this game, they should have just made a season pass because people would have bought it.
Exactly.
So like.
Well, because they didn't think, I don't think they thought the backlash was going to come because they had the cash grab ready. It was microtransactions. They just didn't know
that's
people
different,
were
though.
going to freak out the way that they did.
Because even the microtransactions for this game are not pay to win. Like I know that the mantra of the fanboys, but that's not what it is. You couldn't pay to get better at the game.
No,
you could get lucky and get better at the game, but like wasn't people to seem to be, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't
But
get
to
what
me,
EA
I
is
mean,
doing.
I think
Like,
I can
as a
see the other
logical
side of
person.
it though, because like to me, that's the same thing. Like to me, like paying to get lucky to win is the same thing as paying to win. Because like even though like at the end of the day, you used money to like, and no, you might not have more skills, so like your thumb might not be able to aim.
No,
the stick
but what I'm
better.
saying is that you
But if you
can't
have,
pay for a
like,
specific gun. That's what pay to win means. So you can't say, I want that sniper, I'm going to spend $5 of my money and buy that sniper. That's
Right.
what, like, regardless, that's just the model. But I think that it's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me, regardless of what side you're on with microtransactions or season passes, is that EA tried to split the difference. They, like I don't get what they were thinking. Like they said no season pass, but we're going to charge you for this. But that doesn't actually matter. But it does a little bit. But our system's
they should.
flawed.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They
there's no
didn't just go
progression.
one way with it
Right.
at all.
Like just commit to season pass or commit to no season pass and give us content. But
exactly.
Or not say ahead of time, look, no season pass, but also no content. You're just gonna get a different Battlefront game every
Say,
single
hey
year.
guys, listen, we can take away
Yeah,
these
that's
microtransactions, but
that's
we're gonna
what I
keep
was
doing this.
exactly what I was thinking. Like, just shut up and just give us a new Battlefront every. Like, you want to do anyway. Like, you want to do that anyway. So just do it. Just give us a new Battlefront every year, and as long
Just make
as
it
you keep
COD until we
adding
get tired
content,
of it.
exactly. Then I'm fine with that. But you know what? It is what it is. So like, there was this. I also read this other article saying that the Respawn game is set to like we now like have like kind of almost a like semi-official notice that it's going to be set to come out before Battlefront 3. So Battlefront 3 is already in, you know, the talks or the works.
What was
or
the
in
Respawn
development.
game again?
It's gonna be like the kind of like
It's the one that got canceled and then re-picked up by a different brand. It was the one that
Yeah,
was
it's gonna
originally
be the-
what was the game?
Visceral.
Visceral, yeah.
Visceral
That-
gaming.
that-
Yeah.
Okay,
Action
that's
adventure
sick.
third person one.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like it's supposed to play like oh god, help me out. Uncharted.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's what they said. Yeah, yeah, it's supposed to play like like I love that idea. A Star Wars game that plays like Uncharted and it
Oh,
has
yeah, we
like
talked about that like the
like
first time I
brand
was on.
characters.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
got canceled and everyone
Yeah,
was scared.
that's cool.
And then Respawn bought it.
Yeah. So that's gonna be released before Battlefront 3, which means that I'm seeing like Battlefront 3 being like at least 3 years out, at least 3 to 4 years out. So
Wow.
if that Respawn game is as far as I'm thinking it is, I could be completely wrong, and they could be like almost all the way done with it, and it could be
Well, they're
coming out
already.
in, like,
I disagree. I think that Battlefront 3 is probably 2 years, and
Oh,
we won't
okay.
get much content for this because there's other games right now that are in development for next gen, and next gen is not right around the corner. So
That's true.
you've got like Bethesda just came out and said that the next Elder Scrolls game is freaking huge, but it's also they
Yeah.
couldn't decide between the desert and the forest, so they sort of just made them both, and it's just
Yeah.
this massive game. But they also confirmed that it's not coming out this generation, so they're already in development,
The
neck
next gen,
deep
yeah.
in this thing.
Is that
so
why BioWare
I
pushed
think
it
that,
back too? Because BioWare pushed back
well,
Anthem like
BioWare
2
no,
years or something, right?
it would be, yeah, but it's still this gen. That's what I'm saying. This gen's at least probably at most 3 more years without a new gen. Like
Man,
this
that's
gen will
crazy.
last longer than that, but there will be another gen introduced by
That's
then.
crazy.
And so any
Well,
game
think
that's going to
about-
be focused
The
on this
last
gen
gen was pretty
is going to
short.
be. I mean, not really. It came out
You
in
mean this
2005.
current gen?
Well, I was gonna say last gen wasn't as long as the generation before.
November 2005 is when the Xbox 360 came out.
Yeah, but this, I mean, what's its name didn't go down
think-
until.
I think the thing that's
2015.
tough to remember is that the last gen prior to the 360 generation was like just a graybeard. Like the PS2 came out in 1999, and the
Yeah.
last servers went down like last year. So
Yeah, I was gonna
so-
say 2015 was when the last service
Right.
finally out.
Man, I
So the
was 12
PS2
years
is like
old
a
when
whole
the
different
Xbox came
ball
out,
game.
like-
The Xbox 360 came out in 2005, so it's
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
that
that
gen
is
that
true.
gen was about 10 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, remember the 90s, you're getting new gens every 3 or 4 years. So 10 years is a long time, especially for a system, you know, that can be easily upgraded like the 360 can to something like
Yeah.
the Xbox One. So I don't think this gen is going to last much longer than the next, you know, 3 or so years. They already did the mid-gen update by giving you 4K systems and larger hard drives and things like that. That took a lot longer with 360. Remember how long
Yeah.
it took for the Slim to
hard
come
drive
out?
was
So,
Oh my
Size
god,
is
yeah,
ridiculous.
especially for the PlayStation. Yeah, that was crazy.
right. So you gotta keep that in perspective. I think that this gen, probably 2021 is done. And, well, not done, but the new gen will be out by then, and that would
Yeah.
cause this gen to sort of start its death process. But
Yeah.
But I think that games that are committed to coming out with this gen of systems are going to
Yeah.
have to come out within the next 3 years to get any commercial, you know, success.
Otherwise, people won't
So-
buy them if they know if there's a new console.
Right, exactly. 'Cause, remember
so-
when 360 came out and, I don't know, Madden came out, you weren't going to buy Madden for your PS2
Yeah,
anymore. You're going to wait until you had a
well, that was-
360.
I remember that game because it had the version for the 360 and for the regular.
Right, which was a smaller game. It was a worse game than the PS2 version. So, but Madden's just an example. But if you look at something like COD, when Xbox One came out, that was when Ghosts was out, exactly. So you could get Ghosts for Xbox One or Xbox 360, and Activision ate it. They lost so much money on that because they were trying to straddle this generational gap, and the only games that could do it well were the games that allowed cross-platform or cross-generational play, which isn't very common. So
not many games did very well. Both the only other games that did well besides those were like
Skyrim, because there's a million versions of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but you look at games like sports games. I can speak for myself. I'm not getting 2K20 on both Xbox One and Xbox whatever. That's just not what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait till I have a Z and I'm going to get it, or I'm going to commit to getting it.
If it's called Xbox Z, I'm going to laugh so freaking hard.
Especially if you're like, why would you even release the game on a new console? Like, it should be amped up graphics. Like, it should be a whole new experience from what.
The one. You know what? When we start hearing about a new racing game, we'll know that a new console's coming because they always debut. They always debut a console. Yeah, they always debut a console.
The only thing is, watch out. Watch Kingdom Hearts come out on next gen.
Oh my God! Shut up, dude. I swear to God, if they make me wait more than 2 years for Kingdom Hearts, I'm going.
Kingdom Hearts. You're gonna get the old, the tried and true games. Like, you're gonna get Uncharted 8 and God of War and Grand Theft Auto
and Kingdom Hearts.
And those will be the launch titles for the new system because they're not creative. It's not like they're coming out with new games.
Dude, so, I would agree that I would buy a new system for GTA 6. Straight up.
Actually, I don't like GTA, but I would buy a new system for. Well, I would buy a new system in general, but
I would buy a new system for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, exactly. But Kingdom Hearts would motivate me. But I'm also like, technology's at this breaking point or this tipping point now. There's not much more you can do with a traditional controller with joystick setup. Like, the graphics can only get so good, and the speed of play can only get so good.
They're getting pretty good.
Right. So
we could improve on
what's next? You could be looking at like VR, or you could be looking at something like...
and VR is still too expensive to
right,
be
so
more...
it might make it realistic, or you might look at something like the Switch did with that mobile gaming hybrid, where you can plug it into your TV and still have the full experience, or you can take it on the go. Like, there's so many options, and I think, like I said, I think the controller with 2 sticks is pretty soon. It's going to be pretty, it's going to be obsolete. It's going to be like how an N64 feels to us now. So
I
it's
wrote
going to be
a very
really
interesting article on like the death of the gen. Yeah, that's I'm interested in, because I wrote an article on that not too long. Well, actually, it was long ago now. It's probably like a year ago, and it was exactly on that subject. And and it was funny because I said a lot of the same exact things you're saying on how the console might eventually. What we know the console to look like now might eventually die out, but we'll always kind of have consoles in our house. But I don't know. I honestly...
It might not even be a console. It might just be like a Fire Stick, and your TV's the console. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many possibilities with the TVs
I thought
being smarter.
But then that's true. I thought that, but then the more I talk to like actual like gamers, like, it seems like technology moves, but gamers don't. So like, technology will keep going towards stuff. Yeah, exactly. Technology keeps pushing forward, but we're kind of like, but we still like controllers, so put a controller on this and I'll buy it.
The way to fix that, though, is that they put
I think the VR is just prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
Like if VR
is the same as any technology. It's the same as any technology. When I remember when PS2s first came out, only the rich kids on the block had one. Because they were wicked expensive.
No, I don't
and then
have,
eventually,
I can't get a 4K TV right now. By the time I can get one, it'll be 8K. So
exactly, it's the same with every single technology.
But I do think that while gamers do like their traditions, they wouldn't. If there was a system out that was only VR and it was $500, everyone would have it, and they would just keep their old console just to be able to play with sticks when they wanted to. But I don't think that not having sticks is going to stop gamers from buying consoles. No, I think that if anything, it's going to put more people who have, say, a handicap where they can't play with a traditional controller, or some kind of impairment that prevents them from enjoying games like we do now, that might include some of those people. So
that's very true.
it's really like I said, I think we're at a tipping point. I think this gen is the threshold where this next gen will be super innovative in one of, I think, two ways. One, no controller, or two, it'll be innovative in the way that just content-wise, like a Steam machine tried to be, or the remember the Ouya where you could like just download games. Like it'll be one of those two type things where it's basically a PC, which the Xbox One is a PC. It just has limitations put on it intentionally, but it'll be something like a Steam machine.
Same with the PS4 Pro.
Where your
the PS4 Pro
is right. So your TV, I think, is going to be the key. But but yeah, I don't think we're far off from not having an interface at all. Like, remember how innovative the Kinect was, and then you've got I think it was last year's E3 where you've got that Minecraft and VR coming out, where the dude's like building Minecraft with his hands, and he's like playing with that little table, like no one cares about Minecraft anymore. But
once it, like I said, once that technology is cheaper and it's more accessible, because right now the Oculus Rift, like at the end of the day, like to get the best experience in VR, you need like a really good whatever. To get like an Oculus Rift or a Vive, you're spending like $700-800, like
even if you want a PS4
that's if you don't
VR.
have a exactly, and that's if you don't have. I mean, that's if you have the actual PC to run it, and then like to get a PC to run it, that's gonna run you like $1,500, $2,000.
Oh, minimum. Yeah, no,
exactly.
A PS4 VR set right now, I could go buy one, but why would I do it? I don't even have a 4K TV, and I don't have a PS4 Pro. So that's what I'm saying. The next gen is gonna integrate all those things into the home console.
Yeah, and I hear that compared like. And from what I understand, because I've only used the PS4 VR, I haven't used an Oculus Rift yet. But from what I understand, the comparison is it's like night and day. Like the PS4 is
not even close.
Clearly like cheaper technology than the Oculus Rift or the Vive. So it's like,
the Oculus is a different beast. But I think that the next gen is going to be really intriguing. But that's a weird tangent to have gone off on for so long. But I do think it impacts release dates. So if you're gonna get Battlefront 3, it's gonna be. I would actually not be surprised if it's 2019, but I think 2020.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think 2020 is a good year to shoot for, and I think as far as the Respawn game goes, I think it's gonna be around the time that we see the next what's it called?
Saga movie. The next episode.
The next episode. I think it might be the year before that we see it, or the Christmas or whatever season.
Well, we're getting that would be this Christmas because episode 9 is next May.
I thought it was. It's not. I thought it was. So oh no, that's right, because Han Solo is this May, not next. I keep thinking Han Solo is next. I don't know why I keep thinking. All right, well, you know what it is, because I'm still thinking like next May is 20, because like a month ago it was next May that it was happening because it was 2017. So I'm still stuck thinking.
Yeah, episode 9 is May 2019.
That's true. All right, so yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll get it around that time. Maybe it's closer than we think. Who knows? I would love to see an experience like that, because the other thing I wanted to talk about before we go, only because we got like 10 minutes left, was. So like we've been talking about, Monster Hunter is really big right now. Like it's hard to really not talk about it just because it is so big. So I just was thinking while I was playing how funny it would be, or how cool it would be, if somebody like had modded the game to, and I think it's on PS4 right now, but if they modded the game to include monsters from Star Wars.
That'd be awesome.
They're basically all Star Wars monsters anyway.
Yeah,
wasn't Bobby saying he was riding around on the fighting the thing that Obi-Wan rides around on Mutapa?
But yeah, so I was thinking if you guys could hunt down or put any monster from Star Wars into Monster Hunter, which one would you throw into the game?
I would just go play the Bounty Hunter Star Wars game, which is basically that.
Yeah, it's basically that, but I mean,
I don't know. I think the one thing that we haven't gotten out of a Star Wars game that is one of the coolest things to me, and I know it's not the most popular Star Wars movie, but one of the cool things to me from a Star Wars movie is the underwater Naboo stuff, and the big fish would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool to hunt down. That'd be super cool.
Or to like have to fight in any way.
I just thought, like, I thought to myself, just the cinematics of what the gameplay would look like of taking on a Sarlacc, or like the Sarlacc.
Oh, that would be cool.
It just would look really cool. Like, I thought to myself, it would be like a mix between, like, some of the monsters in like The Witcher, plus like fighting the big. I don't know if the tiger had a name, but that big tiger head in Kingdom Hearts when you played like Aladdin, like where you had to like run around and the Cave of Wonders. That part. It'd be like that.
If you had to fight the Sarlacc, I guarantee you the fight would be identical to the fight from the Lord of the Rings Two Towers game. Where you had to fight that monster outside of the Mines of Moria. Same exact fight.
Oh my god, I really like that game.
I'm really surprised
really
you
love
guys
that game.
didn't say the mind reading thing from Rogue One. I thought you guys would definitely say that.
Oh god, I hate that.
Oh my god, dude. That's so funny.
Yeah, no thanks.
I
think that
he knows.
The underwater stuff would be cool, but I think even without the monsters, underwater Naboo would be just the coolest thing ever. The only game I've ever played that had it was the Phantom Menace movie tie-in game for the PC.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
That, I've never
you know
played
what
that
would
level.
be? It would be cool because it would be awesome. You know, because they have like the
Gungan
bubbles
City
where
is such a
everything
sick
is like.
map.
Yeah,
that would
where
be
everything's
so
like
cool.
bubbled in. If you could like jump into like a boat or whatever, and then like go out into the water area, fight in like boats, and then like come back and then go on like the dry part where it's all I don't know. Yeah, it would be really cool. And
I just feel like Naboo is a really cool planet, but the lamest part of Naboo is easily the city from a gaming perspective. Because there's always urban fights in every game. Like Call of Duty's had urban fights for 20 years. So that feed part is the lamest part to include in the game. To me, I just think that the underwater part is just so cool.
Yeah, you could easily replace feed with any like any
Call of Duty World War II game where you fought through Germany. Like
France I was gonna say, or like any like France or German, like whatever. It had that same like.
It's the same map. It's a really pretty map, but it's.
But I would rather play underwater. You're right. Like that was much more like that scene itself was like probably one of the more, just CGI wise.
It's a unique to Star Wars type thing that you can't get in a different type of experience the same way. So. I don't see why they wouldn't have it. Oh, I mean, other than probably technological limitations, but but that would be cool in terms of hunting monsters.
The Wampa.
The Sarlacc's not much of a hunt. It would just be a fight. But
well, can the Sarlaccs cover themselves up and move? I don't know if they are. If they're just a pit.
It's just a slug. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm pretty sure it's a puppet. But
okay, here we go.
I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
I know the Wampa would be fun because it would be like all
Wampa
snowy
would be
and
sick. That would be really cool, actually.
Caves.
AT.
Those three creatures that they have in the arena of Geonosis, maybe.
That would be awesome. What are those things called? The Aclades or Aclades or whatever?
Yeah, well that's the blue guy.
Those big green things. Those big green things with the arms. I don't know. Was that just in the game? No, that was in the movie.
No,
that was like in the.
She rides it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's in a brief part of the movie, if I can recall. Yeah. But I know in the game you have to kill.
That
like
would be kind of cool. You're right.
Those would be fun to hunt down. I'm trying to think.
I don't know. There's nothing really that's that cool because they're not like sentient in any way.
The Rancor is basically already in Monster Hunter. There's like a monster that kind of looks like the Rancor.
You fight Rancors in KOTOR, but
that's true. You do.
I don't know. It's a tough question.
Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors. You could pull off a collecting mission like Han. I guess my answer is probably Wampa. That's a really good call.
Wampas would be fun. That one's probably my favorite too. A Wampa would be super fun.
Because Banthas are just lame. Banthas are just giant cows. Like everything is from Star Wars that's neat on film is limited because they were trying so hard to make it, you know, practically with real puppets. And
Yeah,
stuff.
there's
so, like,
things from the
I can't
extended
say, like,
universe.
a D-back would be cool.
Yeah, that's true. There's these things from the extended universe that were really cool. Like
the original Legacy of the Force had that that hive mind. Bad guy. That thing would be sick.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool. And the other thing is, like, so many of the people would be cool. Like Wookiees would be cool to hunt, but they're like just a person.
Yeah, but they're like they're like legit people.
right. Trandoshan's would be cool, or
that's like most dangerous game type stuff.
Right, exactly. That's just playing a shooter. So I think that that hive mind from the extended universe, if we're including extended universe, would be really.
There are these really cool bug things from one of the Darth Vader stories. And I can't remember the names of them, but they were like these insect crazy things that all like they were almost like they were like functioned like ants, where they all like moved off pheromones that were given off by the queen or something like that. But either way, those would be cool. And then there's these what are those things that like went in the they're not really a monster, but they like were these things that went in the brains of the. It was in the Clone Wars movie.
Oh yeah, I remember
freeze
that too,
them out.
Yeah. But those are like tiny, you know. Obviously,
I'll tell you what I would want to. I would want to hunt the boob monster from Last Jedi. That'd be awesome. Or the little turtle guys that get so mad when
I'm
when
surprised
Rey, like,
none of us have said
portals.
That's so funny.
Porgs.
I'm surprised no one said porgs.
The cow, horse, dog things that they all go vegan and mess with.
What are those cow things that Luke sucks on called? I don't know what the name of those are.
Dude, it's just boobs. Or the butthole monster from Force Awakens. Jared's least favorite part of the movie.
Oh my god, the butthole monster.
All these guys are shooting Ewoks as we're talking about this. I think that Wampa would probably be the coolest, because it's a cool level, I mean, cool world. It's a cool monster. It actually has some strength without being like an intelligent being. Wampa, maybe Rancor if you can fight them in like their home territory. But but Wampa.
I would say that Wampa definitely is my top, and then Rancor, I think I would agree. Those would be the two that I would see like actually wanting to go after and hunt if I was taking on any Star Wars characters. And then there's not many other Star Wars monsters I can actually even think of that, like, I mean, there's so many
Gamorrean guards.
In the
there's so many just throwaways. That's what's so hard to like think about it. But Wampa's a really good example, and I actually
I'd love to hunt what's his name. I know, I think you said. Well, you already said Geonosian, but yeah, what's his name? Oh, come on, Annie. What's his name? I can't think of it. What's his name? He has that terrible voice. His voice is awful.
Watto.
I would hunt the crap out of Watto.
Oh, his mother.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Eddie, that guy. That's what he sounds like.
Oh my god.
That's definitely, I would hunt him for sure.
Who else?
I know, like I said, I know that's more like just murder or something.
Sebulba.
You just want to murder.
That's the thing. If you could, like, well, then you're basically just playing that old Django Effect game where you just go down contracts.
Yeah, see, that would be so much. See, I don't understand why they don't have something like that in Battlefront. Like a mode where you can pick from the bounty hunters or whatever, and then you have to like go collect a bounty or something like that. Even if it was something like simple, like see, like stuff like that, where I'm just like, I don't know. It seems like Star Wars has been out for so long, and like all these games came out when we were young that had these great concepts, but the technology just wasn't there. I mean, at the time they were obviously really good, but like, I feel like we've gone so long without a good, like,
or like Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, like it's been so long since we've had good games.
Jedi
like,
Outcast and Jedi Academy and KOTOR.
Jedi Academy was really
better
good.
than any other Star Wars game that's come since. And I might
KOTOR
even
is better than any
Battlefront
other
2.
Star Wars game, period. KOTOR is the best Star Wars game.
I just like Jedi Outcast more, I think, but but KOTOR is objectively better. But any of those three games at their 20-year-old
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, age that they are now, is better than any Star Wars game that's come since then, including
Oh, yeah.
the original Battlefront 2, I think. So it's really
Yeah, and Star Wars, and that Battlefront
sad.
2 is up there too. That's within that list, I would say. Like that's up there
Yeah,
as
oh,
well.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I just don't quite understand if it was just a licensing issue where they
No,
just
it's
couldn't
just a
find
different
somebody to
Well,
make
remember
it.
too, LucasArts doesn't exist anymore. Remember, LucasArts was a big thing back then because they had.
That's right. They had their own game
They had
studio.
their own developing firm, and then they had Monkey Island too. So they were making money
That's
on
true,
non-Star Wars
yeah.
property. So
That's true.
LucasArts, when LucasArts died, I like shed a tear because that's legitimately like a loss of a brand that made Star Wars games for the sake of making Star Wars games. Like even
Yeah.
Force Unleashed was a fan service game, and then
And that was
Battlefront came
yeah. I
back,
don't
and it
even
was.
we didn't even mention that. Force Unleashed were legit. Like those were good games. I
Right,
love
so-
both of them.
But that was really LucasArts' last hurrah. So
Yeah, that's
LucasArts
true.
being dead really shows you that the monopoly that brands like EA and Activision enjoys is sad.
Mm.
Bigly.
Yeah,
sad.
that's true. It's sad, very sad. But yeah, guys, that's where we'll stop because it's been about an hour. So, but yeah.